Hi all, today we'll be talking about the shared VPC in GCP. So normally if there is a single VPC, standalone VPC for each project, then it is straightforward, simple. You can just create your compute or the VPC related resources or subnet related resources very easily. But in any organization, typically we'll have this kind of setup where we'll have a host project along with the service projects, which will be sharing the subnets of the host project for the service projects. So we can take an analogy of a clubhouse or a shared space being shared by the estate properties. This is property 1, property A, property B, property C, and property D wants to share the pools of the estate. So this pool can be assigned to the project B, and this pool can be assigned to project A, and so on. So that way, if this is the subnet which is there in the host project, the pool, and the project B wants to use and create the resources using this subnet, it can just share the subnet. And project A also has a similar kind of setup. It can just do this, and project C also can do this, and project D can also do this. So this way, even if the subnet, routes, and firewalls are in the host project, the service projects can easily use it. So if you want to see that in action, we can just get to our organization. This is our organization. We have a shared VPC demo. This is the folder, and this shared VPC, the project itself, by means this project, the VPC host project itself, can be either at the organization level or at the folder level. So we have this folder which is called as shared VPC demo, which has a VPC host project, and we have created a service project for it. And if someone has to authorize or delegate these VPC or these subnets to these respective projects, there should be everything comes with identity and access management, right? There should be a person in charge. There should be a role in charge, a user in charge to share these subnets. So that comes from here. If I just go to the shared VPC, go into the IAMs, see the type user, we have designated this sp.networking@gmail.com as the owner of this folder. Owner of this folder by means is the owner of the VPC host project and the VPC project A. While doing this, while creating a VPC and sharing the VPC, we'll be encountering some challenges, some access issues, and we'll be learning them as we go. So let's log in as sp.networking@gmail.com. So this is what it is. We logged in as sp.networking@gmail.com. So if I go to the VPCs, I'll just get in here, and if I do a continue, it says there is nothing that we have to enable the Compute Engine API. So let's enable it. It takes a while. Here it is. The Compute Engine API has been enabled on VPC host project. That is this project. We have enabled that. And now if I just get to the host project and see VPC networks, we don't have any networks in this project. So we can just create the VPC. We can call it VPC demo, and we can just do the custom subnet creation, because there are two types of subnet creations, so custom and automatic. Automatic creates the subnets in all the regions, whereas custom, we can define in which regions we want our subnets to be created. And we can name our subnet as not VPC demo, but we can call it US East 1 subnet, and I can select US East 1 as our region, and we can 10.0.1.24, we can just select a random sided range, and these are the private access. Let's not worry about all of these at this point. We can visit them later, and here we have the options to select the default firewall rules, and we can just keep the others default, and let's start creating this subnet. This is the host project, and we are getting the subnet created. Okay, nice. We have got the VPC network created, and also the subnet also is ready. And now we want to share the subnet. So we reached to the point where we have this host project, and we wanted it to be shared to the service projects. So there is a concept called shared VPC. So this is a platform where we would set up controls where we can share the subnets. So set up the shared VPC. I'll do the enable. We may face some issues, but let's address it later as we encounter it. Here it is. We see that a set of permission is needed for this sp.kubernetes@gmail.com, this user, to create, to set up a shared VPC. What is that? It is XPN admin. So like the cross project networking. So if we want that as a super admin, we can get to this point where we have our user. He needs to be being an owner for that project will not suffice it. He has to be not on this folder also, but he has to be on the org itself. On the org for this user, the networking sp.networking@gmail.com, we need another role called shared VPC admin, compute shared VPC admin. This is the one, XPN. Okay, so I'll just click on save. It says it might take a few minutes to have these changes become active. Let's wait for it to become active. I'll refresh this one and try to enable this one again. We wanted this project to be the host project, so creating it. Now it's enabled as the host project, and it gives us a couple of options about the IAMs and its related features, which gets transmitted towards the service project. So in a means, whoever are already the admins or compute instance admins, compute network admins, owners and editors of the service projects will automatically be given the network user role, wherein all these roles of the service project, whoever has these roles in the service project, can use the subnets which are getting shipped. So let's keep it as default. Let's click continue, and it gives us an option to share all the subnets or some specific subnets. For now, we only have one subnet, and I'll just click all the subnets to be shared and then click on save. So this one, now we will have a subnets, and if you see the subnets, these are the subnets, and we can just click the show permissions panel and hide permissions panel to see the permissions. Now 0 users have permissions to this host project. If I want to share these subnet to or this network to another service project, we can click on attach projects. So while we try to attach a project, we can just click on the project. So now when we click on this, we have with which project we have to share it. We can share it with this project, but the point is this project does not have the Compute Engine API enabled. So here's the prerequisite. The host project and the service project, both of it should have the Compute Engine API enabled. So let's navigate, let's duplicate the screen tab and find the service project. This is service project A, and let's go to Compute Engine, click on this, and we can start creating the VM instance or viewing the VM instance, which gives an option for us to enable the API. We click on this, we enable the API, it takes some time. We are in the service project though. So by means, this host project, the VPC host project, and the service project which we want to share the network to should have the Compute Engine API enabled. So that is what we did here. It's taking some time. Let's wait. Yes, now it's enabled. Let's go to the host project. This is the host project. Let's try to do it again. Now we don't see the warning symbol here. We can share to this project. And before sharing it to this project, let me show you the VPC in the service project. VPC network. Let's see the VPC which is in this project. We don't see any VPC which is present in this project. And also, we don't see subnets in the current project. And if we go into shared VPC also, we don't see any of the shared VPC thing here in the service project. Now let's do save. So now we have attached the service project. If we get to the subnet, and now we can see that we have 2 users attached to it. Let's see the permission panel. It is this cloud services. What is this account number? And where is this IAM service account coming from? This one is a super user. We don't have to worry very much about it at this moment, but we are curious about this one. Who is this guy? So this one, when we click or when we try to share our network with the service project, the service project's cloud services service account will get added as a network user. So that is one thing And when we go to the shared project, the service project, and refresh the screen on the shared VPC, now we can see that we have a VPC which is getting shared to this service project. Now we are looking as a network user able to view this. In the organization, now there is a new ops user who wants to take care of this service project A. Now we had this the network user who was responsible for the host VPC. Okay, and we also now have another user who got recently recruited as a ops user who is responsible for maintaining the operations of the service project A. Let's try to give this ops user the access. So let's get to the let's get as a super user. Let's get to our project, that is inside the shared VPC demo. We have the service project. To this service project, we want to add that user, this user, ops user, as a compute admin. We shall give it as full control on computing and resources. So let's save it and let's see if this compute admin would suffice for the ops user to create or use that subnet. So let's come to this one. This is the network user. This is the panel or the tab which we use to share the network, and the network is already shared. Now let's try to log in as the ops user. Here I have been logged in as the ops user. If I just get to the VPC and try to see the VPC network, we don't see any network being shared. Okay, or we can see it from here, subnet shared to my project. We cannot see that. We cannot see, even with the owner permission, the ops user, the owner role, the ops user is not able to see the subnet which is shared with his project. So let's see. No, still no. So the catch here is, the important point here is, any user, any role or any service account which wants to use the subnet which has been shared with their project, they need to have, the service account or the user need to have the access of network user for that particular host project. So this ops user needs to have network admin. This ops user needs to have the network user role on the host project as well. Okay, here it is, this one. Okay, so let's go and try to give the ops user the network user and then see it. We should have it on the host project. So if I just get to the host project and add the user, grant user permission, sp.opsuser@gmail.com, the compute network user we can add this way, or we can even add, okay, let's add it this way. Let's not complicate this one. Save it. Let's refresh it again. Yes, here we see that we are now able to see, the ops user is now able to see the network which is shared with him, with their project. So let's go to the compute instance, that is the VM instance, and try to create an instance in the East 1 region, that is which we have the subnet in. That is where we have the subnet in. So we can create it with, here's the interesting point, where we have the networks in this project, the network shared with our project. You can click on the network shared with our project, click on the subnet, and then start creating the instance. Positively, now this ops user should be in a position to create the VM instance. Okay, here we can see that the instance has been created in the shared VPC. So let's recap what we tried to do. So here we had created a folder. We have created the host VPC project and also the service project. That is we have created the host VPC project, VPC host project, and the service project. And in that we have shared a subnet with service project A. And also, while doing that, the network user should have the XPN admin, that is the shared VPC admin, to create the shared VPC project and also share the subnets. Along with that, there should be another prerequisite that the service project should also have the VPC enabled, the compute engine API enabled. And there was another important thing that the user or the service account which wants to use the subnet, which wants to create the compute on the subnet which has been shared with that project, should have the network user role attached to the entity. So that is what we have achieved, that we have created a host project, created a service project, and shared the subnet to the service project, and we were able to create the VM instance. There are some more important things that let's try to get into the VM instance. Let's try to do a SSH into the VM instance. We should not be able to do it because there are some more things that we have to do. Let's dive deeper and analyze and troubleshoot and learn how we can fix this and get into the instance in the next time we meet. Thank you.